Hi, this is Zach May with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Tuesday, the 18th of March. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which is now well above the 50-day line there at 8,600, and the old support there, which is also 8,600 above that, looking for not only a retest of the best levels ever, which are 89.08, but also the top of that rising trend channel from the start, or actually the end of 2023, heading for 90.50. We're looking for that by the end of next month. On the downside, worst case at the moment, the 84.80 area, which was support both in January and earlier this month. On to the DAX, and here it's been decent consolidation at the highs, and in fact even better now with the unfilled gap to the upside so far today. The RSI rebound, in fact, two RSI rebounds at neutral 50, in fact, three if you count that little kink there in the trace. So three RSI rebounds, and looking for 23 or 24,000 rather by, well, possibly now by the end of this month, but we were previously saying by the end of next month. Upside valid while we hold above the old February resistance, 23,000. Moving along to the situation of the Dow, which has been the difficult one amongst the major indices, but here managed to close above the, near the 200-day moving average, but still rising. So 42,000 the level to break above that. We're looking for 43,000 and to get back in that rising trend channel from back this time last year. On the downside, still have the worst case scenario of heading down to 40,000, but perhaps the market here has split the difference between the old support 41,700 and the old September support at 40,000. Moving along to the situation of Bitcoin, and here it's been a tough few days, even more tough on the reports that some clever whale has sold $332 million worth of Bitcoin at 84,000 and is looking to cover at 69,000 and 58,000. So we'll see what happens there. But certainly his or her entry point at the 84,000 level looks to be resistance. That's also the area of the 200-day moving average. Above that, looking for 90,000, which was the old support, and below that, probably no lower really than 73 or 74,000. So that would be at odds with the whale. But who's going to argue with somebody who bets over $300 million on a trade of any kind? RSI still below neutral 50s. That helps the bearish whale on their way. Moving along to gold, where people keep telling us that the market is above $3,000. It's we can't read, but never mind. We're actually touching the top of that rising trend channel, the one in place since February. That was around the 30 level. Above that, looking for a best case scenario target by the end of next month as high as 3,200. And presumably, if we get there, we'll have people telling us that they can read the numbers on the screen. Moving along to the stocks, and starting off with Avacta, which is looking curiously positive at the moment. We had that little break for the RSI through neutral 50. We've had a break of neckline resistance there at 42 pence. Above that, the minimum here should be the old broken support line there at 45 pence, but we're really looking for the 200-day moving average at 53 pence, which actually has, if you look back, been the resistance for the shares on most of their rallies. It's either the 50-day line, which is obviously disappointing, which is what we saw in January, or the 200-day line. And we're going for the 200-day line here. Upside valid or recovery valid while we hold above the recent left-hand side shoulder of the inverted head and shoulders at 38 pence. On to Capex, which I see that Trading Shack is very excited about, hot on the heels of their highlighting of Pensana, which has obviously gone very well. Capex, there's a triangle there on the daily chart, a broadening triangle base, and we're looking for the top of the triangle there, at least at 0.17. Best case would be to get through the to the 200-day line, which is actually rising at the moment at 0.19, and that would also retest the 2025 resistance. Probably, given the level of the land and the tip there, one would go for 0.19, especially given the way that we've had an RSI 50 rebound at the neutral 50 level, which is normally a decent thing to happen. leading indicator on the upside. On to Eurasia, just on the basis that today is supposed to be the day when Russia-Ukraine is settled, and maybe there'll be a bit more on the upside here. Top of the channel there are at 9.25 pence. Looking for that by the end of next month, but obviously if there's peace in our time, then we could see that sooner. Support here now up towards the 6.5 pence area, which was the old resistance in February, and has now become support in the last couple of sessions. Twin-towned with Eurasia is Ferrexpo, and this is also recovered after having, four tests of the 200-day line as support. RSI still below neutral 50, but only just, but still looks as though got the chance of hitting that 50-day line and the old support there at 90 pence, while we're above the 75 pence area, but it is basically a bit difficult at the moment with just being in the mid-range and mid-RSI as well, but 200-day line rising, that should help a little. On to Greatland Gold, which had a big announcement today, and we've now well and truly broken the second target there at 9.75 pence. Above that, we've been looking for as high as 13 pence, which hopefully we'll get by the end of next month, or even sooner. We've had a couple of RSI rebounds above neutral 50 in the recent past, which gives a healthy glow to this market. Upside certainly valid while we're on the right side of 9.8 pence, the previous target there. On to Optibiotix, which served up a decent update today, gapping through the 200-day line and breaking recent support at 18.6 pence. Also had effectively an RSI rebound there as well. Looking for the top of the channel there at 28 pence by the end of next month. On to Pensana, where obviously everyone and their mother knew that the funding news was coming today, or at least guessed that it was coming today. Bear trap rebound on Friday, although not spectacular, but that was the first sign of something happening there. A bit of bullish divergence as well, so the low for March, but RSI actually staying about the same, or near 29. And today we not only hit the top of that channel there at 34 pence, but could actually head up to as high as 54 pence or 53 pence by the end of next month, which is a resistance line projection from the summer of 2023. So let's see if that can be delivered. Moving along to Petro, and here it's been a difficult one with the full storm bull trap through the 200-day line that we had at the start of the month, but it looks as though after killing off the weak hands, we're back in business, rising above or bouncing above a rising 50-day line and looking for the 200-day line again at 2.2 pence, hopefully over the next few weeks. RSI bounce just below 50, but that does count as a leading indicator on the upside. Moving along to Mkango, which seems to be getting lots of sycophantic praise on Twitter, or X as you now call it. Rising trend channel here, looking for 14.75 pence by the end of next month. Looks as though the shares in a decent and very strong uptrend based at the 50-day line in the recent past around 10 pence, and that is rising. Mindflair is next. Couldn't resist this one, even though it's not exactly a stock which has been great in any terms actually in the recent past, but the price action more like a heart trace monitor. But at least we had a gap fill rebound. We've got the 50 and 200-day lines both rising, which must give an indication of some positive price action in there, and looking for a return to the top of the range, 1.5 pence by the end of next month, while we hold above 0.8 pence, the latest support. On to Roquefort, where it was suggested that the departure of the CEO and I think one of the board members would mark a turning point. It was also noted that the shares managed to stay above at and above the placing price there at 1.5 pence. Initial target here, the 50-day line at 2.75, but looking for 4.5 pence by the end of next month, especially if we can get a decent end-of-day close above that 50-day line at 2.8 pence. A little bit of work to go there, but so far the gap fill rebound giving encouragement on that situation. Speaking of encouragement, we've got a rising trend channel, a steeply rising trend channel there, rising in step fashion, which is the strongest you can get at Seascape, bouncing off a rising 50-day line as well, 35 pence, and looking for 60 pence by the end of next month, which is a punchy call, but it's a punchy chart. If you're cautious, wait for an end of day close above 40 pence, recent resistance. But the overall pattern there, especially after that bear trap and gap close that we had back in June last year, looking very strong indeed. Stock which has also been mentioned by the now legendary trading shack is Sunda, and here we've got a bear trap reversal from below 0.06 and above 0.06 looking for up to 0.09, which effectively retest October resistance by the end of next month. On to the last two. The first one, probably one of the easiest calls on the whole market, given the lay of the land and the situation at the company. We've got Thor Explorations, rising trend channel here, heading for 33 pence by the end of next month. We're already sort of halfway there, actually, but not a big, not a sort of dangerous looking call, but very strong price action there at the 50-day line, opening at the low, closing at the high, and doing that again today as well. So looking for 33 pence by the end of next month, and hopefully a lot more, given that we spent the best part of 2 years taking up the slack there on Thor Explorations. Finishing off with a stock which is close to my heart and is also in the model portfolio. One of the two stocks at the moment. The other one's Jersey. Tungsten West. Just had the feeling, apart from the trend line break there and the multiple bounces off RSI 50, that there is a decent accumulation going on here. Top of the channel there at 8 pence. And looking for that while we're above that broken resistance line there from April at 4.25. But those multiple bounces of RSI 50, unprecedented, and let's see if they can give an unprecedented move to the upside. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.